is Kcal News, Los Angeles.
Now at noon, we begin with this breaking news. Iran launches an attack against U.S. forces in the Middle East in retaliation for the weekend strikes on its nuclear operations. An LAPD sergeant killed in the line of duty while responding to a crash on the 405. And the search for a shooter in Santa Monica after two people are targeted in a self-driving car. Welcome to Kcal News here at noon and streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Jasmine Beal in for Amy Johnson today. And we begin with that breaking news. U.S. officials have now confirmed an American air base in Qatar was targeted by a missile attack from Iran. Let's go to Kcal Sheba Turk joining us with what we know as this comes 2 days after the U.S. strikes.
I know it's a shocking development, but almost expected as well. And Iran is basically bragging about this attack this morning, saying that it carried out a, quote, devastating and powerful attack on the U.S. air base in Qatar. But U.S. officials are saying no casualties have been reported. Now, video shows what appears to be interceptions of missiles in the sky over the capital city of Doha. A U.S. defense official said the base was attacked by short and medium-range ballistic missiles. But Qatar's Minister of Defense said its air defenses successfully intercepted those missiles. We want to take a live shot from Doha, where it's just after 10 o'clock at night. Now, Qatar suspended flights in the area before the attack, but now says the airspace is safe. Now, this is, of course, all in response, as Jasmine said, to the U.S. strikes this weekend that targeted Iran's nuclear program. Iran had issued threats to retaliate after U.S. bombers dropped 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs on Iranian underground nuclear sites. And last night, President Trump suggested the possibility of regime change in an online post.
If they refuse to engage in diplomacy moving forward, why shouldn't the Iranian people rise up against this brutal terrorist regime? That's a question the president raised last night.
Iran's ambassador to the United Nations saying today that the U.S. and Israel have destroyed any chance of diplomacy. But Iran also said it targeted the base because it was outside of populated areas and it matched the number of bombs dropped by the United States, which signals a possible desire to de-escalate that situation, Jasmine.
Yeah, and Sheba, again, the U.S. officials saying that they expected this retaliation and for it to be calibrated. For more on the military base, though, let's turn to assignment manager Mark Liu live at the desk. And Mark, we know that troops there were sheltering in place.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. It's one of the largest U.S. active military bases in the Middle East. It houses the 379th Air Expeditionary Wing and the Air Force's Combined Air Operations Center, which does command and control for American military assets in the region. But thankfully, it appears no casualties as a result of this Iranian missile attack. Now, if you come out to my screen, I'm going to show you a map here and some data as to why this is so strategically important for the region. Okay, we're looking here at the Middle East. What you see here is Iran in the center of your screen, and then down here is the small country of Qatar, where Al Udeid Air Base is located. I'm going to zoom in and show you it is away from populated areas. You can see here there's about 8,000 to 10,000 U.S. servicemen that are at Al Udeid. And I said the 379th Air Expeditionary Wing is based here. That is a wing that is temporary in nature. It does whatever job the Air Force needs it to do. There's B-1B Lancers there, B-52 Stratoforces, C-130s, C-17s. But it's located here on this peninsula of Qatar. Now, also right here is Bahrain. That's where the U.S. Fifth Fleet's naval headquarters is. They handle the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. What's critically important here is this is one of the first times that Iran has launched a ballistic missile attack into the Persian Gulf region. And this makes things very, very delicate for this region right here. What you're looking at is the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly 1/5 of the world's global oil production passes through that strait every day, 18 million barrels of oil on tankers. And Iran has threatened to close that strait if this conflict escalates. That is a serious problem for global oil markets. And certainly it makes people in the region very, very, very jittery. One other thing I want to show you is the airspace was closed. This is a radar log from ADBS Exchange of the civilian air traffic through the region today. Qatar right there. And you can see normally there are planes. These are civilian aircraft, jets flying over the Persian Gulf. And suddenly right here, you can see all of these planes turning around and heading right back to Kuwait. This is because those missile strikes were in progress. And just about 30 to 40 minutes later, there was not a single plane flying in the Persian Gulf. And Jasmine, this is how it has remained all morning as air traffic is still being diverted around the Persian Gulf because of the threat of those ballistic missile strikes from Iran towards the Qatar region. Thankfully, as you said, no casualties reported at that air base. So that's it here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
And Mark, you mentioned Bahrain, those air raid sirens also going off there, and Americans told to shelter in place. So
yeah, that's right.
Everyone on this alert level. So let's talk about the State Department. We're going to get a look at the markets as well in just a few seconds and those gas and oil prices. But on Sunday, they issued this, a worldwide caution alert for Americans, advising them to take caution if traveling overseas and warning against potential cyber attacks. So let's see how Wall Street is reacting to the unfolding of this conflict in the Middle East now. With, of course, this news that the Iranian missiles had been intercepted made investors feel more confident. And you can see the reaction here. The Dow is up about 318 points. There is concern the conflict could lead, though, to higher gas prices. The cost of oil jumped around 3% Sunday because of all the uncertainty. But now oil prices have actually dropped. Of course, Iran is a major global oil supplier. As Mark was mentioning, there's concern the country could shut down that vital waterway where more than a fifth of the world's petroleum supply passes through. Oil markets have been relatively stable in recent months. We know it's the summer travel season, but experts predict that those prices will likely jump. Right now, statewide gas prices are actually down, as we were talking about, 20 cents from last month, actually. So here in SoCal, Ventura County is at $4.68, LA County $4.65, Orange County $4.57, and the IE is sitting at $4.49. More breaking news. Heavy hearts at the LAPD after one of their own is hit and killed. This happened while he was responding to the scene of a crash on the 405 freeway. Kcal News reporter Cara Finstrom is at the hospital where there was a procession.
LAPD officers showed Dang was rushing to help others when he was struck by a car on the 405 freeway and killed. The LAPD released this picture of the fallen officer. He had been with the force 26 years, spent much of that time working in the mental health unit. Chief Jim McDonald said Dang's colleagues said he was funny and caring to a fault. He'd been a caretaker for his parents. Here this morning, a touching tribute. Take a look. Law enforcement motorcycles and cars, fire trucks escorted the fallen officer's body from UCLA Medical Center to the medical examiner's office. A sergeant told us they would be deterring by the West LA station on Santa Monica and Butler, where he'd served. The police chief and Mayor Karen Bass were here, and here's what they said.
Let me just say that this is a sad day for our city. Officers, women and men who put their lives on the line every day. And the sergeant was an example of somebody who lost his life attempting to save others.
When I think about him, he died a hero. He was out there caring for others, putting their safety before his own. And he is somebody that we will all look to as an inspiration as we carry on the mission.
The crash happened shortly before 2 this morning in the southbound lanes. First responders say a truck was disabled and its driver got out with a flashlight trying to wave people around him. A Crown Victoria swerved, hitting the wall. That driver apparently okay. LAPD officer Dang pulled up to try and help, and another vehicle struck him and then the man with the flashlight. He died on the freeway. Someone inside that final vehicle involved was also taken to the hospital with injuries. We don't yet know their condition, but again, 2 people killed in this incident. LAPD officer Dang and also that other man, his identity has not yet been released. Cara Finstrom, Kcal News.
Just so heartbreaking. All right, Cara. A woman convicted of masterminding the killing of her hairdresser husband has just been sentenced to life in prison without parole. Monica Cementelli was convicted of the stabbing death of her husband Fabio in the backyard of their Woodland Hills home. Her lover, Robert Baker, pleaded no contest to first-degree murder and conspiracy. He's also serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Santa Monica police, they are looking for the gunman who shot 2 people in a Waymo car. This happened around 11:30 last night on 2nd and Broadway, not too far from the 3rd Street Promenade, actually. Witnesses are telling us that they heard as many as 8 gunshots. Detectives just updated us. They are calling the shooting targeted, saying that it grew from an earlier argument between the suspect and those victims in the Waymo. The 2 victims are expected, though, to be okay. Hey, a little summer June gloom to start the day, but you know that sun really pushed through the gray. And as we go to meteorologist Paul Deanna for our first look at next weather. I know, I was worried about the start of the work week, Paul.
I know, you look outside, it's like, yeah, we're going to do this again, aren't we? Yes, it is still June, even though it's summer, it's a new season, same month. We can be gloomy in the morning. Now, the ocean influence is still there. Even though the clouds for the most part are gone, we can see that in our temperatures. Corona, you're one of the warm spots at 78. Santa Ana, 72. Santa Clarita, only 79. Simi Valley, 69 degrees. And Moreno Valley, 74. Mild, sure. Warm? Not really. Not compared to the weekend, not compared to last week. The ocean breeze is a little more prominent today. Beautiful view from Blue Ridge Mountain, which has had the sunshine all day. It's hazy sunshine now. We've got that ocean influence, and we have